In this video, we're going to see the excavation tools available in OpenBridge. So we just call the excavation tool, select the terrain, select the candidate pier, and then we got created a new terrain model that depicts that excavation according to the side slopes that we selected, and the results are saved into the individual pier or footing in which we selected. We can change different parameters after the fact, like for example the horizontal offset around the excavation itself, if we're going to do, for example, a vertical sheeting as well. And the new results are right there and becomes part of the new elements of the bridge. On abutments as well, we can do the same. Place excavation. It's going to be a vertical excavation with a 4 feet offset from that footing. Select the terrain. Select the structural element. We will get again a new terrain for the cut and fill operation right there. Now, as these work only for footings, what about if the abutment is only a cap? So then we will use a terrain command or terrain tool available in OpenBridge. For that, I will trace with a smart line the bottom of the abutment. And of course, as I'm tracing it, it has the proper elevation. And for that, I'm going to create first a slope. So I use our tool, create 3D line by a slope, and slope it to the terrain. So you can see we can specify the slopes, the direction of that excavation, and that's it. At this time, I will have basically two 3D lines, one at the bottom of the cap and one projected from that bottom of the cap at a certain slope matching the terrain. Then I will create an terrain, create from elements. So I'm going to make that bottom of the cap a terrain. Yes, that's a little trick. And then also I'm going to add it as an element to that terrain and as a boundary that projected the slope that I just did. And then I have a new terrain for that. That happens to be, that will be the terrain for the excavation itself. Now I will use an analysis tool, civil analysis, that can show me the difference between the two terrains. One, the existing ground terrain, actually, and then the other new, let's call it excavation terrain that I just created. And the analysis, as such, it will give me the quantities. Now, that tracing that I did on the bottom of the cap was just at the bottom. But what about if I want to include a certain offset? Well, it's simple. I just use the modify commands and say I want a move parallel for that. So 2 feet around that, it gets the new projection. Remember, the element remains as it is, so it just forms a newly terrain with a new projection, right? The purple line that you see here, the projected slope, it remains on that intelligence as it was created. So I can just do the same. It recreates the new terrain and then do a new analysis of the difference between existing and the terrain excavation.